meaning.
I feel like that terminology has shifted and changed over the years because Max Paxing used to be like cheese, but nowadays MaxPax he's more of a macro player, so I don't know.
I don't think it was cheese. Like even way back when, it was like a proxy, but it wasn't meant to be a cheese. It was more like a pressure
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. It was like on the border there. It was never like fully cheese. But anyway, we'll see if we get the cheese or the macro. As we are looking at first of our players, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid and France. In the bottom right corner of Grass One, we have Clem.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressman, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Psy Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Game number 1 is before us, and I'm really curious to see the tendencies of these players. Again, typically on this channel, we do cast more Koreans and Latin Americans and North Americans and Southeast Asians. We don't cover as many European players, so whenever we get to see them, it's a bit of a treat here. And because most European events are at an awful time for Australians, I'm usually asleep when ESL Masters EU is going on, so I don't really get to see these two play that often.
I mean, to be fair, ESL Masters EU typically starts around this hour.
Yeah.
So we are on schedule.
Yeah, true. Usually in batch. Or casting, actually. Usually casting. We'll see how this goes, as we do see Clem going for a Rax expand here. Only a single gas opener from Clem, so much more economic, and MaxPax is going to confirm that. Was trying to be a little bit annoying, but Clem is able to get his CC on location, not off center.
Yeah, he almost managed to do it, but Clem was a bit faster than that, and the probe has to now move back, although he is taking quite a roundabout way to do so.
Yeah, an interesting positioning there from that probe. Again, Clem focusing a little more on his economy. MaxPax does recognize that, and he may be looking to punish that. I know Hero loves going for proxy Stargates against Terran. Like, Hero is so adept at using Adepts and Oracles in the early game to just pull Terrans apart. I wonder if MaxPax has something similar in store for Clem.
Yeah, we'll find out soon, as he does put down that pylon there. At the same time, the Zealot is moving all the way across the map to the base of Clem, and he will see if he can deny maybe something in the matter.
Yeah, it shows up. It does confirm the bunker, so Clem plays this out safe. If the bunker wasn't here, then the Zealot would be able to have free reign of the natural and delay the CC, but alas, that is not the case. Meanwhile, MaxPax does throw down a proxy gateway, 3 gates in total here for Clem.
Is that a MaxPax? Can someone confirm? Is that a MaxPax, that single gateway across the map?
I don't know what that doesn't sound like a MaxPax.
In the, like, on the very beginning, the MaxPax build was a proxy gate on the other side of the map, but it was like at a specific timing that I do not remember right now.
Fair enough. As both Adepts are going to be able to get behind the mineral line, they're going to be able to deny a lot of mining time here. 1 Marine does go down. Can we get a second? And we do get 2 Marines, but only 2.
Yeah, and both Adepts do fall down, but we do have these reinforcements points now set up. So it probably isn't the end of the aggression from MaxPax, as he is currently working on the Twilight Council.
Yeah, there we go. We do have a Twilight Council opener. Because of this proxy, we could, if we really wanted to, we could even try and rush into DTs, but Clem is going to be going for a standard opener. He's got a Raven coming out behind this, so wouldn't be the wisest of choices, as the Adepts do commit to the shade. They're going to be able to pick off some more SCVs.
Yeah, very committed attacks from MaxPax, and he's getting 3 SCVs, but these Adepts once again will be falling down.
Oh, there we go. The Adepts do go down for 4 SCVs. But we're not stopping. We're roping in 3 Adepts at a time, as of course we do have 3 gateways here for MaxPax. Blink is coming up behind this, and alas, it looks like he won't quite commit to the shade yet, but he is threatening it.
Yeah, he is keeping Clem on his toes, so he has to keep his Marines around in this area. He is even fixing that Hellion over there, and once again, another shade into the mineral line.
Yeah, but you know what? We're going to be meeting up with some of these Stalkers as well. We do have an auto turret, and that is dishing out so much DPS to those Adepts. They get annihilated.
Yeah, the tank in the backline definitely helped as well. And once again, all of the adepts are cleaned out with not much damage done to Clem.
There we go. Meanwhile, we do see a robo coming up behind this. It's not going to be the most committed blink opener, as we see MaxPax is getting ready to expand and take a third base behind this. But the pressure is on MaxPax to at least keep Clem contained. He has been spending a lot of resources trying to harass and keep the economy low, but eventually Clem is going to be looking to push out.
Yeah, I mean he's getting more and more tanks. He's getting more army. He's gonna slowly snowball as he's not really losing all that much in these attacks. He's even prepared for the potential blink in the main base.
Yeah, exactly. But it would be unwise to do so here, especially on such a low gateway count. Meanwhile, the Raven does get across the map. Do you see a little bit of auto turret has going on here? 1, 2 probes going down. Not too much of a reaction here from MaxPax.
Yeah, he's not pulling the pros at all, just letting them do their thing. At the same time, harassing in the front lines, but there is army there, so only the depot is being lost.
Yeah, we do get a depot, which is at least some damage here, and we do see Clem getting ready for potentially a blink into the main base. Clem hasn't been able to fully scout the main of his opponent, so he doesn't know how many gateways MaxPax is working with.
Yeah, and he is adding quite a few more of those, working on charge as well. This Stalker is trying to hunt down the Raven, but it should be able to be tucked away.
Yeah, it does survive in the dead space. Meanwhile, we do see MaxPax once again just threatening the natural base of Clem, poking and prodding. And Clem is being contained here, at least until medevacs come out, until Stim kicks in, the rest of our upgrades as well, and then he can go for one big push. At the same time, the auto turret gets thrown down, and the Raven also gets scouted in the main.
Yeah, nice scout of the main, and the workers this time are pulled away, and there will be at least a lost mining time from the side of MaxPax, but at the same time, a nice scout from Clem, definitely.
Yeah, and I really do appreciate this. So Clem, he confirms the gateway explosion. He also confirms that there really isn't too much tech on the way either. So I like his decision here to take a third base. I do think that taking a defensive position back at home is wise because he's going to be going up against a swarm toss composition.
Yeah, and Clem decides that this is the time to put some pressure on MaxPax this time. He does move out with this army to chase away these stalkers, and he may be even going farther than that.
Yeah, this is all going to be spotted here by the Observer. The Observer sees everything in between the bases, does spot the move out, and as the move out is confirmed, MaxPax is going to try and slow this down with his stalkers. A couple of Marauders almost get picked off.
Yeah, they are being hidden now by Clem on the back, and this Protoss army is gonna stall quite a lot of time, and MaxPax is waiting for that Colossi tag, I believe.
Yeah, the Robotics Bay is on the way. It's going to be a long time before the Colossus comes out. We do have a defensive Immortal. The tanks are actually sieging up in range of the army.
Yeah, but that Immortal is falling down. The shield battery is not able to save it, and at the same time, MaxPax is distracting Clem with that drop, but the army of the Terran is set up here.
Yeah, it is set up, but the Zealots, they power through the majority of the Marines. One tank does go down, but the Gateway army is crumbling. There's no shield battery, there's no overcharge. This third base is going to be broken.
And together with it, MaxPax's first game is broken as well.
GG, well played. Oh, Clem just, focusing on his defensive play here for the first half of that game, building up that tank count before finally exploding outwards onto the map. I do think that MaxPax kind of getting into that game was also a little bit wasteful with a lot of his adepts. Like, he was very willing to just commit to all these shades and just try and apply as much pressure as possible. But over time, I don't know if those were really the best trades from MaxPax.
Yeah, he was just jumping in over and over again, kind of like Zerg style, just throwing the army at the opponent,
Yeah, and he just wasn't able to get enough damage or really make the trades efficient enough. And did kind of set him behind a little bit. He did have quite a number of stalkers active on the map, and he was doing a great job at slowing down the push. But he wasn't able to quite force too many sieges from Clem. He wasn't able to buy enough time, and unfortunately for him as well, Clem had plenty at home to defend. So the Zealot warping across the map didn't work out either. Those Zealots, I think, clearly would have benefited MaxPax better if they were back at home instead. As MaxPax almost had enough to break the tanks. Almost.
Yeah, he almost did, but in the end, like, it wasn't enough, and the distraction did not quite help as well as he hoped it would.
Yeah, the reinforcements were in position. Ooh, Clem takes the first game of the series.
Yeah, but that was only the first game. This is a best of 5, so still quite a few games to go. And we'll see if things will change on Ancient Cistern.
And we're going to be loading into a much larger map here in the map pool, and that should lead to some very different play. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Currently down in this series, oh sorry, currently up in this series, it is Clem.
And in the top right corner of the map, we have our blue Protoss player representing System Gaming and Denmark. It is MaxPax.
Here we go. We saw a Rax expand from Clem in game 1. I expect to see it again here in game number 2, just because this map is so large. The likelihood of your opponent being hyper aggressive is that much lower.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I don't get to see Clem a lot, but does Clem actually, like, cheese?
I've seen him
like-
proxy in TvT.
In TvT, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like matchup specific, maybe.
Maybe. I haven't seen enough.
Because I mostly see him play macro games. Like whenever I do like watch his games, like it's mostly like macro.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like Clem going for proxies is more of a rarer thing. I imagine he's willing to do it in TvP as well. Like there is quite a wide range of different openers that you can go for here in this matchup. And it doesn't have to be like a straight up proxy Rax. You can go for, I'm sure Clem has gone for proxy starports before, for example, for like Hellion drops and things like that. Again, we can have quite a lot of versatility in this matchup.
MaxPax really cutting it close this time. That prob almost falling down, already in the red hell.
Does get away in time though, just delaying the CC for a couple of seconds. As we once again do have a Rex Expand opening here from Clem. Again, this is the new meta for many months. It was 2 gas openers. That was the trend here for maybe the second half of 2022. But as we get into the meta of 2023, especially post Katowice, Rex Expands, there have been all the craze.
Yeah, and the Reaper of Clem is going to the other side of the map and will be scouting what MaxPax has prepared. And I mean, MaxPax also playing pretty standard opening for the time being.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a Gateway Expand being set up. We do have our Tech of Choice being thrown down as well. We do have a Twilight Council from MaxPax, and Clem is able to scout it and confirm it.
Yeah, so a nice scout from Clem as well. There's a lot of workers on MaxPax's base right now, but I assume he will be transferring those soon. At the same time, the first of the adepts is trading in.
Oh, and can we delay the CC? It looks like we just barely cannot. Love the micro as well, keeping that SCV safe and hidden in the CC.
Yeah, very nice micro from Clem there, and these adepts will not be able to cause too much damage, but it does survive the attack and moves away.
Able to get the hell out of there. As behind this MaxPax, how many gateways are going to be seeing? We do have Blink as the opener, as to be expected. For the most part, I say that. I'm surprised that we don't have a Stargate opener on Ancient Cistern. It may be, it's possible that that's just not really MaxPax's style. He may just not enjoy going for Stargates and relying on Phoenixes.
Maybe. But it looks like we will have a Robo coming up as well, so there will be, I assume, some War Prisms for reinforcements as well. And we'll see what MaxPax's plan is, because I feel like he will be the one with initiative once again.
Yeah, MaxPax is going to be much more aggressive this time. If you remember last game, he went for a 3-gate opener, and eventually into Blink Stalkers. This time it's a 4-gate, but whoa, the Reaper slips into the main base and it sees all of the production.
Yeah, he's able to survive just long enough to give Clem all the information he needs, and now he has the time to prepare. He has tanks in production, Steam is on the way, and we'll see if that's enough time for him to set up.
Yeah, we already have 1 tank here far back in the main base, ready for any kind of blinks. We have 2 bunkers here on the low ground as well. Again, Clem was able to see every single gateway, so he knows how committed MaxPax is about to be.
And we'll see if MaxPax does commit to that for the time being. He's checking out the base of Clem with the shades. He will be able to see the natural, but not quite the main, and there are already 2 tanks waiting for him.
And there we go. The tanks are going to be repositioning here to cover the cliff face here as MaxPax is going to have options. He can blink towards the natural or he can blink up into the main. Tanks are just preparing for that. The biggest thing here is that Clem has to make sure that Stim is protected.
Yeah, the tanks are being set up right now to ensure that happens, and at the same time there are bunkers on the front as well, so it won't be easy for MaxPax to get in through either side. But now he has that War Priest for reinforcements, so he may just try to overpower this.
Yeah, here we go. He blinks on forward. There is no tank on the low ground, so one bunker is going to be going down, but we have a second bunker to meet to replace it. The tank does finally siege up in time, and the repairs are good enough.
Yeah, one of the bunkers survives, and most of the Marines as well, I believe, so there's still quite a lot of defense, but MaxPax will now try the other angle. There are only tanks there, but the Marines are switching over.
Yeah, we do see Stalkers pressuring the natural at the same time. MaxPax tries to slip into the main base. This has been spotted by Clem, and he's trying to keep up with the rotation. One tank shot goes off, and 5 SCVs go down in total so far.
Yeah, very nicely done from MaxPax there, but at the same time, I mean, Clem is holding, but it also means that he is contained to these 2 bases as MaxPax takes this opportunity to expand.
Yeah, I appreciate this from MaxPax. I think there are some players that would just commit to the 4 gate and just keep warping in Stalkers, but no, MaxPax is going to be expanding behind it. His Nexus is already up and running, and he's transitioning out of just pure Stalker.
Yeah, and because Clem is, he's careful about the potential, like all in, I guess, coming from MaxPax, the more committed pressure. Like, he has to make sure that his defenses are sound, so he's not really thinking about expanding.
Yeah, not for now. Very similar to last game, if you remember, where Clem was contained to 2 bases for a long time, and then when he moved out, he just won the game. So we'll see how powerful that move out is going to be. Meanwhile, we do have an observer here covering the bases, does confirm all 3 of those tanks, and MaxPax knows it is not safe to blink in.
Yeah, and important to note is there are those 3 tanks, and the tanks were not damaged in any of these pushes. Once again, Stalkers are trying to move in, but the tanks are there for the defense, so the numbers are going up.
At the same time, the Prism is also going to try and slip in as well, but no, Marines and Marauders were left in position. The Prism is stuck behind the main base. But again, as all this is happening, MaxPax is transitioning into charge. We have +1 on the way. Immortal production, so MaxPax is being very careful. Typically, we skip Immortals and we go straight into Colossi, but as the Robotics Bay is being made, MaxPax just wants to make sure he has units to defend.
I also find MaxPax's SimCity very interesting, especially in his main base. He has like this wall of buildings around his mineral line.
Yeah, really nice SimCity here. It does kind of make it sometimes a little bit more awkward to push in, but here we go. Clem has Unsiege. He's moving out across the map. He does have 4 tanks with his army, and he's looking to try and force back MaxPax. At the same time, that Prism is still out there, so MaxPax can threaten a backstab.
Yeah, so Clem does have to be careful about it. Now the Zealots are coming in as well, but it also means they are not together with these Stalkers, and they are that much weaker.
Yeah, it's also going to be able to pick off a couple of units, but there are reinforcements back at home. Clem isn't rallying everything across the map. He is making sure he is safe to a counterattack, but he's going to be pushing into charge lots and Immortals as well. There's a lot here to defend.
Yeah, and this time there are 2 Immortals here, and the base is already set up as well with a lot of Zealots to support, so Clem sees the army and he decides, this is not a good position to be in.
This is a wise choice. The Unsiege is quite wise. He does scan, and with the Immortals, with the Mass Zealots as well, Clem doesn't want to throw away his army. He will back off and just confirm and make sure he gets his 3rd base up and running.
Yeah, I mean, may as well, but at the same time, MaxPax is taking that 4th at the same time, so he will be still ahead on bases, and he is trying to rotate his army once again.
Exactly, as Clem reconsolidates his army, he's going to be moving out across the map. We are going to be walling off with that Ghost Academy, but a Zealot run-by is being set up here, and quite a big Zealot run-by as well, so Clem has to be careful. It looks like his rally will come across those Zealots.
I feel like MaxPax just barely dodged it. The Marines didn't see the entire Zealot army. At the same time, though, Clem is pushing into the Protoss 4th base. There is army to stop him here, but he may be still able to deny it.
The sandwich is being set up. The Zealots are coming in from behind. The Colossi coming in from the front as well. The tanks are under threat. One goes down immediately, but the others are going to be able to shell away at the Immortals.
Yeah, the Immortals are going down. The Colossus as well. There's only 1 of each left. And there's only 2 tanks, but that's still 2 tanks that are keeping this army like away from the Marines.
Yeah, the Zealot run by from behind just got melted immediately, and the target firing from the tank were insane on those Colossi. Once again, the Stalkers blink on forward, and we're trying to clean this up.
I mean, they did get a tank, which is really nice, but I mean, as they say, at what cost? Like, both armies got pretty much cleaned up.
Yeah, both armies are hurting at the same time. We have a bit of a Zealot runway. The Prism comes into the main base as well, and Clem is losing workers.
Yeah, workers in the third, workers in the main. At the same time, he's trying once again to push with another wave. There are 2 Colossi here and a lot of Zealots, but that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. There aren't that many Zealots left to protect these Colossi because we lost so many Stalkers and Zealots earlier. These Colossi are very exposed. Nexus is about to go down. We do have a couple of mines, and they are going to go off.
Yeah, they are gonna go off. There are Marauders as well. The tank is though left a bit naked, but the Widow Mines are able to protect it just enough. And it's just these 2 Colossi dancing here as the base is healed.
Yeah, but Clem is pretty all in. Like, he has lost so many workers back home. 19 SCVs go down. Clem, he kills a base, sure, but MaxPax, he's up almost 20 workers.
Yeah, this was only the 4th base of MaxPax. His 3rd base is still pretty safe. There is no armies going to that direction. And he now has 3 Colossi as well.
Yeah, exactly. He did lose 1 Colossi earlier, but now he's up to 3. That is the critical amount of Colossi that you need to contend against this bio army. We have a couple of mines left here, but Clem, he's basically just trying to micro his heart out with what little he has, trying to squeeze out whatever he can.
By the way, chat is having a pun contest. I'm not looking.
As we do see some Zealot reinforcements coming in, and we don't have enough to protect this tank. MaxPax is going to be able to clean up this position.
Yeah, the tank was only able to hold on for so long, and MaxPax will be cleaning that position. At the same time, Clem is preparing another wave, but I'm not sure if he is ready right now.
Yeah, Clem has a supply advantage, but bearing in mind some of that supply are in these medevacs as well, and yeah, Clem is still hurting economically. He does have ghosts on the way. Unfortunately, I believe Clem did. Yeah, he made 2 Ghost Academies by accident. So, you know, maybe.
No, this is for nukes.
Oh, true. We're gonna make 2 nukes at a time. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, MaxPax, his position is going to get just a little bit better and better here. Now we have 3 Colossus, we can start Disruptor production as well, and that will change everything. Clem still has a pretty commanding army though, like he still has a fight left in him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is by no means a weak army. I'm just not sure if it's able to contest like the amount of units that MaxPax has, but with the help of the Ghost, it may be able to do so, but he's already losing one.
Yeah, meanwhile, another Zealot run back here on the right-hand side. This is pulling the army back home as well. I felt like Clem was on a bit of a timer, but alas, MaxPax is buying so much time with all these Zealots.
Yeah, and he's working on Disruptors now next, so this will be added to the army as well. And, I mean, this army of Clem does not look all that scary right now. He has a lot of Vikings, so he should be able to deal with the Colossi, but this is still just a bio army.
Yeah, we'll see how this fight does go. I mean, there's a lot of potential with the EMPs, but there's also a lot of potential with the Disruptors. We now have 2 Disruptors here for MaxPax. The Novas will make or break this fight for him, as Clem once again is looking to move out, and as he does, we have a Zealot runback being set up on the right-hand side and another on the left.
Yeah, we'll see how this will go.
Yeah, as we do see Clem pushing out onto the map. Finally, he has been just trying to make sure he clears up any kind of map vision, but he runs into the army of MaxPax.
Yeah, the Nova is being set out, but it does not mean that. Ooh, actually, the second Nova goes on half of the army of Clem. He does get an EMP on most of the army, but he doesn't have all that much units left.
Yeah, we have the overcharge. The overcharge is not enough to keep the Colossi alive. Every single Colossus does go down to the Vikings, but Clem can't keep pushing. At least he was able to trade relatively well. At the same time, Zealot counterattack did get some 8 SCVs.
Yeah, the Zealots are still being cleaned up. They are delaying the reinforcements for Clem. And at the same time, MaxPax has time to make another base, regroup his army, and now he's attacking.
Yeah, he is attacking. Another Nova's going to be going off to zone away the army. Another Nova goes off, not quite connecting with those mines. And MaxPax has to be careful not to be too careless with these, as he only has 4 disruptors in total. But once again, as Clem moves out, the Zealots move in.
Yeah, Clem even left some of the Widow mines here on this path, but they will hit the Zealots, but only as they are leaving the base and not as they are moving in.
Yeah, meanwhile, another Zealot army here on the left-hand side as well. Slowly over time, this economic damage is adding up, and MaxPax has a 5th base behind this. He can afford to throw away some Zealots. He can afford these economic losses. He goes for a bit of a mine drop, and he gets some counter damage.
Yeah, two probes, and yeah, I guess.
2 probes go down. MaxPax looking to threaten that 3rd base, but the army of Clem isn't too far behind. He's setting up his own attack.
Yeah, the Zealots are moving in, but that leaves these Disruptors a bit uncovered. But ooh, at the same time, nice Novas from MaxPax.
Massive Purification Novas go off on not just the army, but also the Ghost as well. And once again, another Nova doesn't quite connect. Good target finding there by Clem towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end, but the few Novas before did hit the army, and it did do a number on them. But there's still a bit left, and I mean, MaxPax cannot just move in without any support.
Yeah, exactly. MaxPax is forced to back off here, forced to lick his wounds and get back into his production as he's making 2 disruptors at a time. And meanwhile, we see Clem. He's tired of all this harassment. He wants to try and turn the tables. He wants to try and do some damage across the map, but the drop has been spotted.
Yeah, the drop has been spotted, and he's dropping in the main, which doesn't have any workers to begin with, so it's not really gonna do much damage either.
Yeah, exactly, as there's no mining at all in the main base. But we do drop towards the 3rd base instead. Meanwhile, Clem is completely out positioning the army. We're going for a pseudo base trade.
Yeah, I guess we are, but we have to keep in mind that MaxPax does have more bases than Clem does right now. And we're just moving in.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be rushing in towards the main base. We do have a couple of mines waiting on that ramp. Meanwhile, across the map, Clem takes down the 5th base. Now he's working on the 3rd base as well. The base trade is fully underway.
Yeah, with all the disruptors on the ramp, they are getting hit by that EMP, but I'm not sure if there is anything to capitalize on that. Actually, there is a bit of reinforcements here.
Yeah, there are some reinforcements. Massive Widow Mine shots go off on the Stalkers as well. MaxPax having a bit of a hard time trading overall here. And the Disruptors are exposed!
Yeah, the Disruptors move command a bit, and they all get sniped by Clem. So no Disruptors now, it's just Zealots and Stalkers.
Yeah, it's only a pure Gateway army remaining here for MaxPax. Looking at the unit side, we have 1 Disruptor left here. But there it is as it does come up the ramp.
Clem takes it.
As GG gets called, MaxPax losing all those disruptors was just too much, and Clem takes game number 2.
Yeah, he's up to 0 currently. Only 1 more point to win this series.
GG.
And in the meantime, as we are setting up this next game, I would like to introduce to you some puns that the chat made. As the armies both cancel each other, they said that both armies got disarmed. Also, they went from armies to armless. Or from armada to arnada.
Are we talking about losing our arms?
You're welcome.
Oh. But yeah, honestly, really solid performance there by Clem to be able to focus fire every single one of those disruptors. A little bit of miscontrol from MaxPax that did lose him the game. Without those disruptors, he was lacking any kind of splash damage, and he could never fight the main army of Clem. So yeah, we are 1 game away from crowning Clem as our new KFC champion.
Yeah, he's close to doing so, and I mean, Clem has been looking fairly solid with his defenses like today. I feel like he's been the defending player in most of his series. Like, you know, people just throw different things at him, and he just, you know, calmly defends them, make sure he is in position, and it's working pretty good for him so far.
Yeah, in a sense. I do think that MaxPax was in a better commanding position almost the entire game here in game number 2. It's just that we ended up in a base trade scenario, right? Which I do think was probably Clem's best chance at winning that game. Without that, I don't know if he would have been able to take on MaxPax's army in a head-to-head fight. So going for that base trade was a really smart move from Clem, and it worked out very well for him.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if it work out as well, if not for the fact that he did have these reinforcements left in his main base, because he was able to like actually like destroy at least half of the MaxPax army, which basically won him the game right there. Because if not for that, I'm not sure if MaxPax actually wouldn't be faster destroying the bases than him.
Oh yeah.
Also, you're welcome, chat. Also, chat wants you to start laughing at the puns.
Oh, but they have to be good puns first.
Oh.
Yeah. Chad, I'm gonna need you to step it up, okay? Aye.
You don't know what you're trying to unleash.
Aye. I'm catching up in the chat. Catching up. Both armies got disarmed. Why?
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
Yeah. Why are we making armed puns? Why? What's?
Because they're armies.
Aye.
Come on. Shaking my head.
It's almost 2 a.m. Okay, I can't handle this chat. I can't handle this. You're all awful.
It's the best time for the puns.
Sure.
See, the chat now is saying that they're getting punished.
No. Where's Yaku? I need Yaku. I need.
You suddenly miss Yaku.
It's too much. It's too much. We're getting into game number 3. We're moving on from what's happening in the chat, and this is potentially the final game of the series. Again, our Terran player is up 2-0. Una más. One more is all he needs to become our champion and win that bucket of KFC.
Wait, is that the prize?
Oh yeah, it's the best prize.
Well, we'll see if he can do it, because we are looking at him right now in the in the top right of Royal Blood. We have the red Terran player, currently up to 0, representing Team Liquid and France. It is Clem.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Currently down 0-2 in this series. Can he put a point on the board? It is MaxPax.
Once again, neither of the players starting with a very early... Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. What is this SCV doing?
This is looking like an NG block. None. It looks like we're waiting for the probe to move out. I love it. The timing here. We wait for the probe to move out across the map. The SCV slips on in. Clem, so damn smart. And we're going to be able to get the NG bay up and running.
I love how this is like precisely timed, because obviously no way he saw that pro moving out. He just knows when that happens. That's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and because he waited, he can get a lot of progression on this NG bay. Actually, he does leave it here at half HP instead. Interesting choice. So he's going to be giving the option here to MaxPax, but no, MaxPax is forced to take the unnatural natural instead.
Take a Zerg.
Yeah. Take that, Protoss. Get him, Clem, get him. Yeah, very nice start here for Clem. It does mean that MaxPax's bases are that much more delayed, or that much more exposed, I should say, to harassment, and it's going to be that much more difficult for MaxPax to defend.
Yeah, definitely. And does that mean that this time Clem wants to actually be aggressive?
Yeah, we will see, as he is going to be going for a single gas opener, but no, he's going to be delaying his CC here. He's going to be going for a Rax into his factory first before CC.
Yeah, and getting the CC on the high ground as well, making sure it is not denied by MaxPax. And we see what he goes with next, because as I said, up till this point, Clem was mostly defending, but maybe this is time to change things up.
Yeah, so a lot of things are going on right now. One, of course, our CC is delayed because we went for a factory first. It's also on the high ground, which means that even though MaxPax is moving out across the map, he will not be able to see whether there even is a CC or not. He's in the dark when it comes to the overall opener. And with these Hellions, they're designed here to run past the non-existent wall and get into a mineral line.
And I mean, they will be able to do that. There is a shield battery in the mineral line, but I'm not quite sure how that interacts with the Hellions.
Ooh, as the wall was not a wall, MaxPax does dip into the main base. He does see the second racks and also the CC.
Yeah, he sees everything. The adepts will be cleaned up eventually, but not without doing some damage on the units of Clem. And the entire attack has been revealed.
Yeah, as a result, MaxPax should be getting ready back at home. He did also open up with a Stargate as well. That was the other thing I did want to mention. For the first time this entire series, it wasn't a Twilight Council opener, it was a Stargate instead. Phoenixes can help in the defense as they can lift up some of these Hellions and help support this adept.
Yeah, and the Hellions are actually trying to go for the main base, and I'm not sure if that's a great choice because, as you said, there are those Phoenixes there that will be able to leave the Hellions when the time comes. But we do have some probes falling down.
Well, there are no gateway units. There are 0 gateway units available. Warp Gate was delayed because of the Stargate, and as a result, so many probes are going down.
Yeah, 7 already down, and there's more. The Phoenixes are completely out of energy, so this one damaged Hellion is actually doing a lot.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit shocked that even though MaxPax saw the Hellions, he chose not to make an Oracle. If we made an Oracle, kind of like how Oracles clean up Lings, it can also DPS down and clean up these Hellions as well. But no, MaxPax, he opted for the Phoenixes. A greedier move. Phoenixes do provide a lot more utility as, you know, they can shut down drops and they can pick up and harass as well, but a risky move.
Yeah, but considering that Clem was going for the CC after factory, I think he's mostly focusing on the Marines for the time being. So, yeah, these Phoenixes don't really have much to do. They may be able to leave the cycle, but then the Marines deal with them.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this is that MaxPax saw the second Rex building as well, so he knew that it was going to be a big commitment into a bio push early on. MaxPax could have definitely inferred that, and he is trying to get into charge lots, which will help, but again, these Phoenixes are quite limited in their ability of harassment. They're looking to rotate back around, looking to try and get into the main base, and maybe they can catch some SCVs.
Yeah, there are no turrets so far, so Clem will have to rely on these Marines to protect the mineral lines from the Phoenixes, and they are trying to get some damage whenever they can.
I like this one. It's so stupid.
Which one?
Asher, can MaxPax keep him at bay? Because of the NG Bay block. Hi. Yep. As we're going to be moving out across the map here with our bio army, we have stim, we have combat shields. We only have 2 medevacs, so we have to be very careful here with how we do maneuver across the map. These Phoenixes are going to try and slow this down as best they can, but they haven't been able to do too much here. They haven't been able to pick off any units, and again, MaxPax, he is spread out so thin between these bases.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you are forced to take that unnatural, and Clem will try to find an angle to attack here. The Phoenixes are here, so he has to be careful, but he may be able to deal with this army.
And we have an overcharge, but we can just leave the third. We can just go straight for the natural instead, and that's what Clem is threatening here. He's forcing the army out of position. Still going to be waiting out that overcharge, and it looks like Clem doesn't like what he sees. He's going to back off.
Yeah, I think he was a bit afraid that he would get sandwiched if he moved too deep into the natural, but yeah, I mean, he will just, get some more time, prepare a better army, and come back again.
Yeah, exactly. As the Phoenixes do turn around, they do pick off one of those medevacs. Oh my god, they almost get another as well. They do delay that CC, and these Phoenixes are now finally getting some value. Up! Ugh.
Yeah, one of the Phoenixes does fall down to the Cyclone though, so there will be a bit less of them in the end, but I mean, it's always something. It's always something. A bit of delay, so does always count.
Yeah, it does help. And I mean, killing the medevac is probably the biggest pickup. And oh my god, speaking of medevac, he may get another.
Yeah, Clem has to be careful about how he moves this army with these phoenixes sharking out. We have some zealots hiding on each side of the map as well, so there will be more run-bys just like in the previous games, but there are widow mines once again.
Yeah, there are some widow mines in position, but one mine is not going to be enough. And here we go. There's also going to be rushing in towards the third base. At the same time, Clem is focusing on his push. What do we have at home to defend? A lot of charge lots.
A lot of charge lots. Like, a lot of charge lots.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, there are charge lots on the other side of the map. So there's just more charge lots. And the core is going down, but it doesn't matter because we only have charge lots.
It's true. The core doesn't really matter too much. We do pick off one of these gateways as well. The zealots across the map don't deal too much damage. Clem was very quick to evacuate, but he's now mining only off of 2 bases. The third CC just couldn't really get up and running, as Clem is still just sharking around. He isn't committing to a push. He isn't committing to a fight because, again, mass charge lots can make short work of Marines.
Yeah, I have to say Clem is very short about which fights he takes. Once again, he's been mostly defensive today, it feels like. And even when he does push out, like he does, like, you know, always make sure that he knows what he's going against, and he makes sure he's not surprised by the opponent's army.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's very careful with his engagements. He goes for a scan. He's looking for the 4th base. The center fourth is being taken. Meanwhile, the zealots, oh, they almost see an opportunity. They do bait out a stim. Clem, he pushes forward.
Yeah, and he will deny this base and go forward with it as well, getting a few pros while at it. And this army of MaxPax has to move back, but at the same time there is another drop.
Yeah, we do have a zealot drop into the main base, but only 3 zealots here in the main, only 1 more at the third base, so not really too much to be concerned about. Clem can focus on moving out across the map here. This time the big difference is that he does have some widow mines that he can fall back to.
Yeah, but the force fields do help MaxPax quite a bit, and he is able to deliver part of the bio army. There's still a lot of it left though, as the zealots are just, you know, going in a straight line to the other side of the map.
Well, we're going for a mass surround, and here we go. Mine shots are going to be connecting with some of the army, but the zealots do get on top of the Marines. Clem has to disengage.
So hold on, I need to check this. How do I?
As the widow mines are being cleaned up here in between the bases, the Colossi have arrived. Now we have some splash damage, and suddenly MaxPax's army is looking that much more terrifying.
Yeah, as Asherbro pointed out in the chat, MaxPax is only now rebuilding the core. He didn't even bother rebuilding the core because he was only making zealots anyway.
I mean, does he even need it, to be honest? Like, does he?
No, not really.
He really? As we have another zealot army. This one is dealing damage, though. 16 SCVs, 17 SCVs and counting have gone down. Clem, he has to commit here to the push, but he's running into Colossi.
He is, but the Colossi will be... I guess they are still quite alive and well, but they are running out of the buffer and the probes are falling at the same time.
Yeah, that massive zealot army that we saw earlier isn't really there anymore. There's only a handful of zealots remaining. MaxPax has to be very careful with his warp-ins. He has been focusing a lot on harassing with his zealots across the map, not so much warping in defensively back at home.
Yeah, and he's running into these widow mines, but he does bait them with a few zealots, so not too many losses there. He does have 3 Colossi and thermal lands on the way as well, but as we said, like, the buffer is running out. He has to rebuild his gateway army.
Yeah, and now suddenly Clem has an insane army. We have Vikings and Ghosts coming out with their EMPs, rushing across the map. But the zealot run by, it just keeps slowing him down. Unfortunately, the Vikings were not able to catch that prism, and as a result, Clem is forced to turn around with some of his ghosts.
Yeah, he has to clean this up because his Ghost Academy is in the main base, so the zealot could have focused it, but decided against it.
Oh.
Finally, the warpies will be falling down though.
Yeah, the prism does get targeted down, and now Clem can reinforce with the rest of his army. Do you have 1 Ghost and 1 EMP available here for Clem, but he has to be very careful with how he uses it.
Yeah, there are 4 Colossi in this army by now, a lot of zealots, a few sentries, even some Archons on the front, so Clem has to be very careful about how he engages this with mostly a bio army.
Yeah, and even though he can't really break this army of MaxPax, MaxPax is being forced pretty all in. Like, every single time he's tried to expand and take a 4th base, Clem has been there to deny him. As a result, MaxPax's economy is honestly not really amazing anymore. And Clem is working on his 4th base. You know, a Terran player ahead in base is a terrifying thing and something that you don't see too often in this matchup.
But we have to be very careful because MaxPax has been adding disruptors now, and we saw what happened in the previous games when these come into play.
It's true. We have seen
with,
Clem.
Yeah.
As here we go, you see the army pushing on forward. The Novas are going to be going off, and they will find a connection with the Marauders and those Ghosts as well. And it looks like Clem doesn't quite have enough to break on through. You said it before on Gressbar. We saw Clem take massive balls to the face, and we're seeing it again.
You like have to say it like that.
Yeah. But we only have 1 disruptor left. Only 1 remaining here. So, yeah, Clem, he may be able to muster up enough of a defense here to hold.
Yeah, I mean, the reinforcements will be enough to keep MaxPax at bay for the time being, but there are still these 4 Colossi and Disruptors in this army, so this is quite a dangerous force, but it is being under fire.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to be able to take down 1 of those Colossi. As you were saying earlier, we don't really have too much of a ground army here to help support these Colossi, but there we go, we do reinforce with another wave of Zealots.
Yeah, the Zealots will be able to chase this army back, and the 3 Colossi are still standing strong with their you know, range already researched, so they're able to just shoot their lasers from very far away.
Oh, exactly. And now MaxPax is wedging himself in between the natural and the 3rd base. Vikings are coming forward. EMPs are connecting on the gateways, and now we're diving on top of the Colossi.
Yeah, now the army of MaxPax is being sandwiched on the side of Clem, and it will be cleaned up. And GG scored. Clem takes the series 3-0.
GG, well played. Clem does it here. Doesn't drop a single map in the finals, and he'll be this week's Kung Fu Cup champion.
Wow. I actually thought this was looking pretty well for MaxPax, but I think he overextended. It just like marched into Clem's base.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, right? MaxPax was all in. He didn't have a 4th. He just kept being denied base after base after base. MaxPax was forced to commit into a fight. And meanwhile, Clem was, you know, sitting pretty happily back at home. He had his own 4th CC on the way. He was getting it fully saturated. He was more than happy to receive MaxPax here. And even though he was taking some rough trades, these were trades that Clem could afford and trades that MaxPax could not.
I do wonder if MaxPax positioned the last fight better, if maybe it could be a bit better for him, but at the same time, I feel like maybe Clem would eventually overpower him just by the sheer, you know, number of the reinforcements.
Yeah, I imagine so. So a good effort there by MaxPax to try to overcome Clem, and we saw some good moments from him as well. Again, I do believe that Game 2, MaxPax was ahead. Game 2, MaxPax was winning, and then we ended up in a base trade, and then MaxPax lost all his disruptors. He had like 8 disruptors, and he lost.
They were like, it wasn't even like, you know, like it was like a big fight when he lost them. Like they were all like just stuck on a ramp, and they all got hit by the same EMP.
Yeah,
it was so sad.
Yeah, all those disruptors went down in the blink of an eye, and that lost MaxPax Game 2, and that denied us maybe a longer series. So really well done by Clem overall, especially to make the best out of a bad situation in Game 2 as well, and to look much more dominant in Game number 1 and Game number 3. So GG.
Yeah, GG, definitely GG. Clem has played some great games today. Some very strong games, like a lot of defensive games, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, Clem is going to be this week's KFC champion. He is going to be eating well tonight as he gets the bucket of chicken. Oh.
Do you think he actually he's like, okay, I won, now time to order KFC?
I mean, he has to. It's the rule. What else are you going to eat?
It's in the rules, okay. No, actually, instead of KFC, you order the chicken from the SC Boy website.
There you go. You mean the corn dog stuff?
No, they have like a bucket with chicken as well.
Oh, there you go.
Like when you look at the slideshow, they have like different kinds of food.
True. Yeah, they have a bunch of food. Just order it from China. There you go. Make them fax it over.
By the time it gets there, I mean, look.
It'll be fine, don't worry about it. But regardless,
Oh my God.
GG, well played. We have our champion for the night, and that is our tournament for the day. A little bit of a shorter broadcast. I say that. I mean, usually KungFu Cups are 6 hours, but this one just under 5 hours instead. So we get to sleep at a slightly more reasonable time. Let's go.
Yeah, the KungFu Cups do run late. I mean, the thing is, the KungFu Cups also run late because they have a lot of players participating.
Yeah.
Like, those brackets are big. Those
Well,
are actually big brackets. And everybody can play, so you can sign up as well.
yeah, it's the big bracket, but it's also because they also hold semifinals as well. They don't have them run at the same time, like ESL Open Cups, for example. So, yeah, that many more games to cover, that many more games to cast, and the KungFu Cup is always a wild ride. And I also want to give a shout out to Yaku as well. Yaku was here for the first 3 quarters of the tournament, but alas, wasn't able to stay for the entire thing. It's getting quite late, and Yaku does have to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, Yaku is actually a student now. Look at these kids grow up.
I know, it's disgusting.
Do you remember when Yaku was the youngest in the clan?
Is he not the youngest in the clan? He still is, right?
Actually, is he? I think he's still technically is.
Yeah.
Wait. Do we have like someone who's younger now?
I guess actually, I think
Starduck?
Starduck. Yeah, I think Starduck is younger. Technically, Starduck is younger than Yaku. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Starduck doesn't count. I've disowned him. It's fine.
Oh yeah. True.
So he does. Look, he doesn't exist in my eyes. Okay, he's out there playing
Is it-
Hearthstone Battlegrounds right now. It's shaking
Is
my
it
head.
Oreo like same age or something?
Or he was the same year as Yaku. I'm pretty sure they're the same year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these kids.
I'm shaking my head. But yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Shout out to Kuro as well. Thanks, Kuro, in the chat for jumping in at the end to save me from solo casting for too long. Thank you for joining me at the end of the broadcast. I appreciate it.
Unfortunately, I did not save you from chat spams. I'm not sorry.
Oh boy, so if people want to tune into more of Yakuzaku, !Yaku in the chat, or Yakuzaku in the chat, he does sometimes stream, but as we mentioned earlier, he does typically, or he's a full-time student nowadays, so he's quite busy with that instead. He isn't always available to cast, he isn't always available to stream, but whenever he has some free time, he tries to stream, so consider following him on his Twitch channel. Always a lot of good fun there. Some crab champions, or maybe some art streams as well.
I mean, art streams are once a year. It's a special occasion.
It's true.
Also, thank you for redeeming Beck's team up.
Yeah.
Somewhere still is suddenly very happy.
Likewise, Kuro, if people want to tune into more of yourself, why don't you tell them where they can find you and who you are?
You can type !Kuro in the chat to find out. But you can follow me at twitch.tv/16squadsonseki or on Twitter at twitter.com/16squads. For a moment I forgot how links work. But yeah, I may stream, but it will... Actually, I may ladder. I think I may just ladder. Just because, for no reason. So if you want to see some gold levels, Eric, then you're welcome. But if you want to see actual tournament, then make sure to stick here to CranKy Ducklings, because we will have a lot of casts coming, and they don't stop coming, But also, if you want to see some a bit higher levels of gameplay, where can you go? Like,
twitch.tv/chase_SC2.
Chase doesn't even stream.
He doesn't even stream. He's a goddamn animal. Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I was streaming just before this cast, actually. I had a 6-hour ladder stream. I did regret it initially. I was like, oh no. But as soon as we started casting, I was like, it's fine. It's just the energy. It came back very quickly. Shout out to Yaku for helping with that, for helping us stay with some momentum. But if you want to tune into some of my content, Live VIP on Twitch and Twitter, I try and stream whenever I have some free time. And my next stream will be tomorrow because we actually don't have a cast tomorrow. I mean, we could cast. There's always casting to do if we really want to, but tomorrow is going to be the CranKy Ducklings a day off. The first time in a long time, so there won't be a cast here, and that means that I will most likely stream over on my channel just some Zerg ladder gameplay or maybe some Diablo 2 as well. I'm trying to finish Diablo 2 before Diablo 4 comes out, but I'm kind of get close because apparently Diablo 4 comes out in like a couple of weeks. It's like right around the corner, so I gotta pick up the pace a little bit at light speed, puppy, at light speed.
Yeah, light speed is not quite enough.
It's not very fast actually. It's quite slow. But yeah, I'm probably going to be playing some Diablo 2 tomorrow or maybe on Friday. We'll see how things do work out. See how much free time I have. So if you're interested in that, follow me there. Otherwise, if you just want some casting content, then !socials in the chat. Follow us on the CranKy Ducklings. We have a Twitter, we have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server, we have a Patreon. We've got it all. So if you want to support us, you have our links. If you want to follow us, you also have our links as well. Our next broadcast is going to be Friday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be World Team League WTL back to back to back. So 3 days of World Team League. We also have over the weekend KSL, Korean StarCraft League. We have GPO, Grand Platypus Open, and we also have the Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So a weekend full of StarCraft. Chock full of StarCraft.
Also, don't forget to vote in the prediction game.
True. If you want to take part in the prediction game for World Team League, join our Discord server and don't forget to vote. With that, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
I should have prepared for this, but I didn't. Good night.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night. Bye.
Bye.